which is probably the last piece of clothing this person was wearing, because his bones, or her bones, are scattered all over the desert floor, including what looks to be a piece of a pelvis and, judging by the sagittal suture there, the skull.
Paracas, Peru, also known as El Chaco, is a small coastal town about 4 hours south of Lima. This town is visited by tourists year-round primarily because of the Ballestas Islands. These islands are known as the Peruvian Galapagos because of their unique wildlife, which includes the Humboldt penguins. The Paracas civilization existed from approximately 800 to 200 BC. But other cultures also inhabited this land, and those cultures reach back as far as 4000 BC. One of the cultures created the iconic geoglyph known as the candelabra, but mysteriously, no one knows which culture created it or when. And there is something else even more mysterious that this little town is known for.
Well, here I am in Paracas, Peru. Paracas is a beach town, and it's fairly touristy. In fact, most of the tourism here is for things like kite surfing or taking one of the boats out to the islands over here. The islands are part of a national heritage and part of a national park, and they're absolutely beautiful. But I'm not here to go kite surfing or to see the beautiful islands. What I want to see was found out here in the desert. You see, in the desert, they found mummies, but not just any mummies, very strange mummies. And I have a private tour at 12 o'clock to go see a museum where I can see these mummies. And let me tell you, there's something very special about them. But I have an hour to kill. And what do you do when you have an hour to kill and a paramotor on the back of a motorcycle? I'm gonna go for a beautiful flight on the beach.
Knowing this would not be my only flight here, I did not want to spend too much time in the air because I was anxious to visit the Paracas Museum. I couldn't help but wonder if they would have the item I was looking for. You see, the Paracas mummies were known for their elongated skulls. And before we continue this video, let me take the time to explain why these are so fascinating to me. At the Paracas Museum, I learned a lot about the Paracas peoples. This was an amazing society whose textiles were intricate and beautifully crafted. This was also a culture that buried their dead in the arid sand, which would mummify the remains. And this is where the mystery of Paracas begins. There are 3 types of mummies that are found here. Normal human mummies whose heads had been elongated via the practice of headboarding, or those that show evidence of early brain surgery. And then there are these, mummies with heads that are not forcefully elongated, but whose skulls contain a lot more mass than a human head, thus appearing to be elongated. And additionally, these skulls are missing the sagittal suture, something that is found in all human skulls. Interestingly, only the royal class of Paracas peoples had their naturally elongated skulls. Those who were not royalty would take their babies and use the practice of headboarding their children to mimic the royal class of peoples. take a look at a normal human skull. You'll notice that the skull has a connection in the middle which is called the sagittal suture. Sometimes in humans you have a defect known as saphocephaly, which causes the skull to form a ridge instead of the obvious suture surface. But this is extremely rare, and it does not cause extra mass to the skull. Rather, it causes a boat shape known as dolichocephaly. The fact that all of the royal class of mummies have a lot of extra mass to the skulls, 30 to 60% extra, they also have larger than normal eye sockets and are missing the sagittal suture, easily rules out saphocephaly. Additionally, the royal mummies have other characteristics that are not known in the human species. But unfortunately, I found out that a lot of the skulls of the royal class are now missing.
Well, I'm a little bit frustrated. Today I went to the Museum of Paracas, and I was expecting to see some skulls, but they only had about 5, and only one of them I could clearly see had only 2 plates on the head, and that's the type of skull I'm looking for. Now, there's hundreds of these skulls. A man named Julio Torrio, back in 1926 thereabouts, did a lot of archaeological digging here and found graves and hundreds of these mummies. But for some reason now, all of the skulls are missing. I did, however, get invited to a private museum where they said they had some skulls. But when I went there, the only thing I found was fake replicas. None of the people who live here know what happened to the skulls. So I'm reaching out over the internet to see if I can get some answers, but I don't know if I'll get any response back, and so far it's just been quiet. Tomorrow at 8 in the morning, I'm supposed to meet with a man named Aurelio, who is an archaeologist. Supposedly, Aurelio knows where some of these skulls are, so I'm hoping he has some answers. If nothing else, I could go to a museum 1 hour away, and there they have 4 skulls. But I asked what types of skulls they had, and the answer wasn't forthcoming. So I really don't want to drive 1 hour away in a tuk-tuk to see a private museum that has 4 skulls, and they might be fake. So at this point, I'm a little frustrated. I went to the Museum of Paracas, and there's only 5 there, and no one can tell me where the hundreds and hundreds of these skulls have disappeared to. I'd really like to know, because this is an important part of the Peruvian heritage. Now, not to be too controversial, but these skulls didn't start disappearing until they started doing DNA testing on them. It's only been in the last few years that DNA testing has been available for these skulls, and the results were kind of strange. Some of the DNA suggests that it's not quite human. Now, I'm not going to go and say they're ancient aliens or anything like that, because I don't believe they are. I believe they must be some sort of offshoot of the human species, maybe a different mutation of DNA. Something there, though, is different. They're not quite human. When you see these elongated skulls, you know immediately this is not quite human. It's close, but not quite. As if there was a mutation in the gene pool somewhere, or a subspecies of human that went down a different path. The mystery continues. Secondarily, I have another problem. The motorcycle broke down again. This time the oil leak is back, and the gear shift lever is also broken. So this afternoon, I'm going to be working on fixing the motorcycle.
For this next segment you're about to see, keep in mind that I just worked on my motorcycle, so please forgive the dirty fingernails.
This is for Inca culture.
Yeah?
Pero the material more big, this is the Chincha culture.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, entonces, I'm see archaeological man looking this way. This is the Inca culture.
And now we're coming across some sort of ancient building. ¿Qué culture?
Ica Chincha.
Ah,
1,200. Look, in the construction is different. You see, remember the small block? This is big block.
Yes.
Here.
Okay.
This is the Ica Chincha culture.
Okay. Which is this?
Remember this side?
Yes.
Inca culture. This place maybe is Paracas culture, Nazca culture.
Wow.
In this way, maybe this is Wari culture.
Five different cultures.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All in this area right here.
Yeah. Paracas culture got it 500 before the Christ.
Yeah?
Yes.
So about 2500 BC.
Yeah. This is a Nazca culture got it 200 after the Christ.
Okay, so about 280. Okay.
Wari culture got it 800 after the Christ.
So Y is 880. Okay.
Yeah. Ica Chincha Gary is 1,200 after the Christ.
Okay, about 1200. Okay.
Yeah. Inca culture Gary 1,400 after the Christ.
Okay, so Inca was the last.
Yeah, finish.
Finish,
This is coming Spanish culture, maybe 1,050, 150. Oh, sorry. 1,053.
Ah, okay. Is when the Spanish culture
this
came.
coming the Spanish here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they finish the Inca, the Peruvian culture.
Yeah.
You got it?
See.
Oh, okay.
I am here at an archaeological site with the archaeologist named Orsilio. Behind me, this place has 5 cultures. Behind me, this culture here used these big blocks. But what's so surprising is he took me to this. This is a giant ceramic bowl buried deep in the ground, and it's basically where they would conserve food, or it's the equivalent of a root cellar. How cool is this, right? By the way, the sand is littered with skeletons and pottery and ropes and textiles, littered.
Otra. Look, so much ceramic.
Oh yes, ceremonial.
Yeah. No domestic use.
Yeah.
This is rock. You see the liquadora.
Yeah?
This is Yusi.
Really?
This is batang.
Wow, it's incredibly smooth. Wow.
You're not looking in the museum.
No. Wow.
This is the people is walking.
Yeah?
This is look good. No, there's I know.
No. Yeah.
No, yo le estoy explicando, pues.
The desert floor is littered with ceramics and pottery, both for
Look at the
domestic as well as, oh look. And this is a finger bone and possibly a rib bone from one of them.
Eso todavía no he visto lo demás.
It's littered with remains.
Looking.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
This is the for use it for curry or maybe for cleaning the.
And here is a piece of a jaw. Piece of a jaw just laying on the ground. It's littered. It's like a giant cemetery here. Look how finely woven this is. From a loom. which is probably the last piece of clothing this person was wearing, because his bones, or her bones, are scattered all over the desert floor, including what looks to be a piece of a pelvis and, judging by the sagittal suture there, the skull. This is what the mummy was buried in. You can see how fine the textile is. It's made of cotton. And this is the original color. And literally, these are everywhere. I'll come here, and there's more burial material here, along with the mummy bones, and they're everywhere.
Maybe the young.
Yeah, from the hip or something. Yeah. Yes. Wow, it's like a cemetery out here. There's so many bones just strewed across the desert floor, along with ceramics from 5 different cultures that had lived in this area. At the time, the ocean would come this far. Right now, it's just the river, and the river goes all the way up to Cusco, or actually comes down from Cusco and the mountains. And now it's like a desert cemetery. Earlier, Auxilio was saying that underneath the sand, which the wind has basically covered this place, you may find houses or whatever, and they just haven't dug up a lot of this area. Maíz.
Peruvian. After you see the a laboratory different.
Oh, it's different.
But it's natural.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a small one.
Yeah.
And the coast.
Yeah.
And the mountain is more big.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You see the construction the S01?
I haven't, no, but I know.
Yeah, but you
on
look
TV.
at the rock. They put one inside.
Yes.
Similar the crowns.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
This is idea. Look, the people is coming here for, ¿cómo se dice? Huaqueo.
To steal?
No legal.
Yeah, to steal.
Yes.
To steal. Oh, they're digging up to steal. Oh, these are grave robbers.
Yes.
So they're illegally digging up and looking for the graves. What did they find in the graves that they want to steal? Pottery? For ceramica or
No, for metal.
For metal?
Oro, gold.
Really?
Gold and the silver.
Wow.
Or maybe for ceramic, special ceramic.
Yeah.
Or maybe the cotton cover.
Yeah.
The Paracas culture.
Yeah.
They're so expensive.
Ah, okay.
This is big. Sorry.
Yeah, but they twisted it up. So it's used for nets or baskets, things like that. It's a vegetable. You can see there's a big plate here.
In this place, escalator, everything. Maybe look in this place. This is the back.
Oh yes, it's an ancient bag. Wow.
You like?
That's amazing. It's amazing how it's how it's woven.
Looking. The special construction. Only using here, no machine.
No machine?
No machine, man.
Wow.
This is
And
yarn,
the weaving
maybe
is
this
so
is,
tight. The
this
loom.
is maybe the Paracas culture or Nazca culture maybe in this place.
Wow. It's hair. It's hair.
Coge un ratito, ¿puedes? ¿Tanto miedo le tienes a los muertos? Los muertos no te hacen nada. Hay que dormir en las...
There's still flesh on the bone.
Another side leave cemetery.
Yeah, this is a massive cemetery. Bones are strewed all over the ground. Ribs, and I mean, you can't help but step on body parts. Jawbone, the skull, sacral, another piece of a skull. Ancient people just strewn all over the desert floor. Here we have an elbow. Still has the meat on the bones. Every part of the human body just laid out here. A child.
Dile por qué está así, por qué está acá ahorita.
Someone's foot. Mummified and still intact.
This is people open the flower. Ow, no good. Ow. But this is looking this way.
Dile que es calabaza.
You see, the vegetal.
It's vegetable.
Yes. Maybe use it for cover after the cranial.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Open this. Cover this.
Ah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
only deep. O sea, dead people.
Yeah, only the dead.
Yeah, pero not dead. Put the silver or maybe put and the golden.
Talk about an interesting tour. This was amazing. This desert is just a graveyard of mummies and houses and pottery and textiles and of course bodies as well. Well, I'd love to spend more time here because this place is an archaeological gold mine. Unfortunately, it's being ravished by grave robbers, but everywhere there's just textiles and bones of 5 different cultures here, dating back from 2000 BC all the way up to the Spanish conquistadors. We didn't find any elongated skulls. We did find plenty of mummies. But for now, I need to hop back in the taxi and head back to Paracas because unfortunately the motorcycle is still broken. And that's priority 1 at the moment.
I was able to fix the motorcycle with a young talented mechanic named Osman, but I was not going to leave Paracas without getting at least one more flight in.
So out here in the middle of the desert in 1926, a man named Julio Torrio found mummies. Not just any mummies, but these mummies had a short stature. They were only about 4 feet tall. But what was bizarre about these mummies is that they had very elongated skulls. Funny thing is the ones with the natural elongated skulls were the kings, and the subservient people who really followed the king and kind of worshiped them, they would make their babies so they had elongated skulls as well. And they did it through headboarding. Basically, they were a different subspecies of human or something. Now, a lot of people go crazy and they're like, oh, ancient aliens or whatever, but there's no real proof of that. In fact, they were a very primitive culture, except in one sense. They did brain surgery, but not just any brain surgery. They actually did major brain surgery, and they would use metal inside of the skull. Another funny thing about the ones that were natural is that they don't have the holes for the nerve that go through your jaw. Their holes for the nerve actually goes up through the base of the skull. So the holes are in the wrong place. Now, here's what's frustrating. When you go to the museum or when you would look it up online, they never mention the fact that, hey, you know what? Their skulls are different for the rulers. They just tell you that it's all result of headboarding. And it's not. Unfortunately, the truth is being buried somewhere, and I'm not sure why, but the truth is actually buried about a lot of things. This is just merely one of them. But that is what Paracas, Peru is known for, and that is why I wanted to stop at this little town, is because I wanted to see the skulls. And this barren desert right out here, well, it holds the mystery of who those people were. Fortunately, they have done some DNA testing on them, and what's odd is that the rulers of the people, but not the ones that have been headboarded, the rulers of the people have a different DNA, and it shows that they came from either Eastern Europe or around the Mesopotamian area. Kind of interesting, huh? One of those weird little mysteries in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert, in Paracas, Peru.
If you enjoyed this video, the best way to let me know is by subscribing to the channel. Each week I release a new video with a new adventure. Let me know you liked it by clicking the like button and leaving me a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts about these enigmatic skulls and the secrets of Paracas. If you feel you want to support me in this crazy adventure of mine, the best way you can do that is by sharing this video with others on social media. I'd really appreciate it, and it would mean the world to me. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video, and I'll see you next week with a brand new adventure.